The first thing I saw when I stepped into the ballroom was my own reflection in the polished marble floor. And for one horrible second I almost turned around and left. Crystal chandeliers glittered overhead like stars. Diamonds flashed from elegant necks. Men in tailored suits laughed over glasses of champagne that probably cost more than my monthly rent. I didn't belong here. Maybe I never had. 3 years ago I had been the girl everyone envied. Adiz Okafor. The rising Nigerian fashion designer. The woman engaged to the perfect man. The woman with a future. No. My boutique was drowning in debt. The landlord had given me 30 days to pay what I owed. My staff thought business was improving because I smiled every morning. The truth? I had exactly 37,000 Korean wons left in my Korean account. Barely enough for dinner. Yet somehow I was standing inside one of Seoul's most exclusive charity galas because my best friend SaintOlla had begged me to accompany her. "Stop looking like you're attending your own funeral," she whispered. I forced a smile. "Working on it." "Good. Because there are billionaires here." "I'm not hunting billionaires." "That's exactly why you're still broke." I laughed despite myself. Then fate decided it hadn't humiliated me enough. Across the ballroom I saw him. Kwame. My stomach dropped so violently I almost spilled my drink. 3 years. 3 years since he had walked away. 3 years since he had told me I was too ambitious to be a wife. 3 years since he chose money over love. And somehow seeing him still felt like someone pressing a knife into an old wound. He looked richer. Sharper. More expensive. A perfectly tailored tuxedo hugged his broad shoulders. Beside him stood a stunning blonde socialite draped in enough diamonds to blind a small village. I looked away immediately. "Please don't see me. Please. For once, let me keep my dignity." Then his eyes found mine. And I knew God hated me. His smile widened. Not with affection. With amusement. The kind people reserve for old classmates who never achieved anything. "Well," he announced loudly enough for nearby guests to hear. The conversation around us began to slow. My heart started pounding. "No way. Please stop. Adiz." People turned. I felt every eye in the room shift toward me. Kwame laughed. Actually laughed. "Adiz Okafor." His girlfriend blinked. "You know her." "Oh, very well." The humiliation started before I could even speak. "We used to date." Several people exchanged interested glances. His girlfriend smiled politely. "Really?" Kwame looked me up and down. Then came the bullet. "So," he said, "you're still single?" Laughter. Soft. Pooh. Deadly. My face burned. "And broke too, I assume?" The room went silent. Every single person heard it. For a moment I couldn't breathe. I wanted the floor to open beneath me. I wanted to disappear. I wanted to stop feeling. Kwame shook his head dramatically. "That's sad, Adiz." His girlfriend giggled. "Very sad." Something inside me cracked. Not from pain. From exhaustion. I was tired. Tired of losing. Tired of pretending. Tired of being strong. Then a warm hand settled against my waist. The entire room froze. Including me. A familiar scent surrounded me. Expensive cedarwood. Smoke. Danger. My pulse skipped. No. No way. Slowly I turned my head. And there he was. Park Jae-won. My husband. The most feared man in East Asia. Standing beside me like he'd been there all along. The ballroom's atmosphere changed instantly. Conversations died. Smiles vanished. Even the waiter seemed nervous. Jae-won wasn't loud. He didn't need to be. Power followed him the way shadows follow night. His dark eyes settled on Kwame. Cold. Terrifying. Then his hand tightened slightly on my waist. Proactive. Kwame's confidence faltered. For the first time all evening he looked uncertain. "Mr. Park," he managed. Jae-won didn't answer. His attention remained entirely on me. As if nobody else existed. As if the entire room existed solely around us. He leaned closer. His lips brushed my ear. And in a voice only I could hear he whispered, "Shall I ruin him?" My heart slammed against my ribs. Or would my queen prefer to do it herself? The silence was beautiful. Not because it was peaceful. Because it belonged to him. One whisper from Park Jae-won had reduced an entire ballroom of billionaires and socialites into statues. And somehow, despite being married to him for 3 months, it still shocked me. I swallowed hard. My queen. The words shouldn't have affected me. Our marriage wasn't real. At least that's what I'd told myself. It was a contract. A business arrangement. A solution. Nothing more. Yet every time he called me that, my heart behaved like a complete idiot. Well, he murmured against my ear. His voice was calm. Patient. Dangerously patient. Do you want me to ruin him? The terrifying thing about Jae-won wasn't that he made threats. It was that he never needed to. Everyone already knew he could do it. Kwame looked increasingly uncomfortable. His girlfriend had gone pale. Several powerful businessmen were suddenly pretending not to watch. I forced myself to smile. I can handle my ex. Jae-won's eyebrow lifted slightly. A challenge. Can you? That annoying confidence. That absolute certainty that he could destroy anyone in the room before finishing his champagne. Unfortunately, he was probably right. So, this was mine. I turned toward Kwame. The same man who once promised to build a future with me. The same man who left when my business started struggling. The same man who had just tried to humiliate me publicly. For years I'd imagined this moment. Thought about what I'd say. How I'd prove him wrong. Yet now that it was here, I felt strangely calm. Still single. I repeated. Kwame laughed nervously. Well. I held up my left hand. The enormous diamond caught the chandelier light instantly. Gasps spread through the crowd. His smile disappeared. Completely. Because he recognized the ring. Everyone did. The ring wasn't just expensive. It was famous. The emerald-cut diamond had appeared in magazines across Asia. A family heirloom of the Park dynasty. One that supposedly never left the bloodline. Till now. Kwame stared. No. I smiled sweetly. Actually, Kwame. I intertwined my fingers with Jae-won's. I'm married. The room exploded. Whispers. Confusion. Disbelief. Kwame looked like someone had punched him. His girlfriend blinked repeatedly. Married, she whispered. I nodded. 3 months. The woman nearly dropped her drink. Because everyone understood the implication. I was wearing that ring. I was holding that hand. Then there was only one possibility. I was Park Jae-won's wife. The room's most powerful woman. Kwame laughed suddenly. Desperately. The sound of a drowning man. That's impossible. Jae-won's eyes shifted toward him. Bad move. Very bad move. Impossible. I asked. You expect me to believe Park Jae-won married a struggling fashion designer? The words stung. Because they were true. I was struggling. My business was barely surviving. And even now I sometimes wondered why Jae-won had chosen me. The answer was simple. A deal. His family needed political connections in Africa. My late father's business network offered exactly that. A marriage had solved everyone's problems. At least on paper. But then Jae-won did something unexpected. His arm slid around my waist. Pulling me closer. Much closer. The warmth of his body immediately flooded through me. Every nerve woke up. She's not a struggling fashion designer. His voice was quiet. The room leaned closer. She's my wife. The words hit harder than a gunshot. Not because of what he said. Because of how he said it. As if it were the most obvious fact in the world. As if anyone questioning my worth was insulting him personally. Kwame opened his mouth. Closed it. Opened it again. Nothing came out. For the first time since I'd known him. He looked small. Jae-won glanced down at me. His expression softened. Only slightly. Only for me. It was a look nobody else ever received. And suddenly I remembered our wedding day. The day everything changed. The day I stood beside a man I barely knew. The day he leaned close and made a promise. A promise that had haunted me ever since. The world may question your place beside me. I never will. At the time I thought he was being polite. Now, I wasn't so sure. Then a voice interrupted. Chairman Park. A nervous man hurried across the ballroom. One of J1's security chiefs. His face was pale. Far too pale. My stomach dropped immediately. Something was wrong. Very wrong. The guard stopped beside us. Sir. J1's expression hardened. What is it? The man hesitated. Then whispered something into his ear. I felt J1's entire body go rigid. The warmth vanished. The softness disappeared. The monster everyone feared returned instantly. And whatever had just been said terrified him. His gaze snapped toward the ballroom entrance. For the first time that night, I saw fear in my husband's eyes. Then he grabbed my hand. Heart. We're leaving. My heart started racing. J1. He looked at me. And what he said next made my blood run cold. Adiz. His voice was deadly calm. Someone just tried to assassinate my younger brother. For 3 seconds I couldn't move. Couldn't breathe. Couldn't think. The ballroom suddenly felt too small. Too bright. Too loud. Someone tried to assassinate his brother. The words echoed inside my skull. J1's grip on my hand tightened. Not enough to hurt. Enough to tell me he was worried. And that frightened me more than the news itself. Because Park J1 never looked worried. Ever. He looked angry. Dangerous. Cold. But worried? Never. The security chief leaned closer. They missed. Thank God. But. The man hesitated. J1's expression darkened. Speak. They took Minjun's fiancé. The air left my lungs. J1 went completely still. The kind of stillness that comes right before a hurricane destroys a city. The security chief swallowed. The attackers left a message. What message? The man looked uncomfortable. Then. They said if you want her back. His voice dropped. Bring your African queen. The entire world stopped. Me. They meant me. My heart slammed against my ribs. J1's head turned slowly toward the guard. What? We intercepted the message 3 minutes ago. The man's voice shook. They specifically demanded Mrs. Park. I felt ice spread through my chest. How? Nobody was supposed to know about me. Our marriage had been kept deliberately quiet. The public knew he was married. Most didn't know to whom. Which meant someone had been watching us. For a long time. J1's arm wrapped around me instantly. Proactive. Instinctive. Terrifying. No. One word. Cold enough to freeze oceans. The security chief lowered his head. Sir. No. J1's voice sharpened. I will burn every organization involved before I hand over my wife. My wife. Not the African queen. Not Adiz. My wife. The possessiveness in those 2 words made something flutter embarrassingly inside my chest. Even now. Even here. Even while discussing kidnappers. Apparently my heart had terrible timing. The security chief looked miserable. Sir, they expected that response. Of course they did. Anyone with functioning brain cells would. J1 would never sacrifice family. Especially not me. Which raised an even worse question. Whoever sent the message already understood him. Dangerous. Very dangerous. His phone rang. The entire room watched. Nobody dared speak. J1 answered. A distorted voice filled the silence. Chairman Park. The voice sounded amused. That scared me. People who weren't afraid of J1 usually ended up dead. We have your brother's fiancé. J1's jaw tightened. If she dies, you die. The voice laughed. Everyone says that. I hated him already. What do you want? We already told you. The man sounded delighted. The queen. My stomach twisted. The ballroom disappeared. The guests disappeared. Everything disappeared except that voice. And the realization that someone somewhere had decided I was worth kidnapping. The voice continued. Bring her to Incheon port at midnight. No. The answer came instantly. Without hesitation. Without discussion. Without even looking at me. No. The caller sighed. You love her more than expected. Every muscle in J1's body tensed. The voice laughed again. There it is. Silence. Then. We'll send your brother her finger in the morning. The line went dead. The ballroom erupted into shocked whispers. I barely heard them, because I was staring at my husband. And he looked absolutely murderous. The kind of murderous that started wars. The kind of murderous that made governments nervous. Clear the room. His voice was quiet. Everyone obeyed instantly. Within minutes, the ballroom was nearly empty. Only security remained. Tolla shot me a worried look before being escorted away. Then it was just us. Me. J1. And the storm behind his eyes. Finally, he turned toward me. No. I blinked. What? Whatever you're thinking. His gaze locked onto mine. No. My stomach dropped. Because he knew me. Already. Far too well. I wasn't. You were. Damn him. I was. A woman was going to die. His brother was suffering. And I was the reason. I couldn't ignore that. I can help. No. J1. No. The word cracked through the room like thunder. I flinched. Immediately regret appeared in his eyes. Gone just as quickly. But I saw it. For a second, the feared king of East Asia looked less like a crime boss. And more like a terrified husband. At ease. His voice softened. Dangerously soft. The way it only ever did with me. You don't understand. Then explain. He stared at me. Long. Hard. As if debating something. Then finally. The people who took her. He exhaled slowly. Are the same people who arranged our marriage. My blood froze. What? Impossible. J1's eyes never left mine. The same people who wanted our families connected. My pulse thundered. The same people who had brought us together. Were now trying to tear us apart. And somehow I knew. Instinctively. Deep in my bones. This wasn't about ransom. It wasn't about his brother. And it definitely wasn't about politics. It was about me. The question was, why? Then J1's phone buzzed again. A new message appeared. His face changed instantly. I had never seen fear like that before. Not once. Not in anyone. Foley. He turned the screen toward me. And my knees nearly gave out. Because staring back at me was a photograph. A recent photograph. Taken this very evening. At the gala. Of me. Standing alone. Before J1 arrived. Beneath it was a single message. We know what she really is. Midnight. Or everyone learns the truth. I couldn't breathe. The photograph trembled in my hands. Not because I was scared. But as I recognized the message. I knew exactly who sent it. And for the first time since meeting Park J1. I wanted to run. Not from danger. From him. Because the truth I'd spent 3 months hiding was finally catching up to me. Jaeung. My voice barely worked. His eyes narrowed. That single word was enough. He knew. Not the secret itself. But that I knew something. Something important. Something devastating. The room suddenly felt too quiet. Too exposed. He took a step toward me. At ease. My heart cracked. Because he sounded worried. Not suspicious. Worried. The kind of worried that only comes from caring. And somehow that made everything worse. I looked away. Big mistake. J1 immediately noticed. His jaw tightened. What aren't you telling me? The question landed like a knife. Because there was no longer a good answer. Only bad ones. And catastrophic ones. At ease. Another step. Pose. Look at me. I couldn't. Not yet. Because if I looked at him, I might lose the courage to speak. 3 months ago, when our families arranged this marriage, I had promised myself one thing. Never fall in love. That was the rule. Simple. Necessary. The marriage was supposed to last 1 year. 12 months. Then we'd quietly separate. No broken hearts. No complications. No regrets. Unfortunately, nobody warned me that Park J1 would be kind. That was the problem. Not the money. Not the power. Not the danger. The kindness. The way he remembered how I took my coffee. The way he called my mother every Sunday. The way he secretly bought every dress from my struggling boutique without telling me. The way he sat beside me during nightmares and pretended he wasn't worried. The way he looked at me. As if I mattered. As if I was precious. As if losing me would destroy him. I should have hated him. I said. I fell. Hard. And now that love was about to ruin everything. Adiz. His voice was sharper now. I finally looked up. Big mistake. His eyes immediately found mine. And whatever he saw there terrified him. Adiz. The room disappeared. The years disappeared. The lies disappeared. Only us remained. I know who sent the message. Silence. Absolute silence. The security team froze. Jaewon's expression didn't change. Which was somehow worse. Explain. One word. Dangerously calm. I swallowed. The organization that arranged our marriage. My throat tightened. Wasn't working for your family. His eyes hardened. Or mine. The room went still. A terrible stillness. The kind that comes before disaster. I forced myself to continue. They were working for someone else. Jaewon's gaze never left me. Who? My stomach twisted. Because I already knew this was the moment. The point of no return. The moment that would either destroy us. Or save us. Pai father. His eyes narrowed. Pai father. He died 11 years ago. No. The words slipped out before I could stop them. Jaewon froze. Every person in the room froze. My own heartbeat became deafening. No. His voice dropped. Dangerously low. Adiz. Tears burned my eyes. Because I had spent 11 years carrying this secret alone. 11 years pretending. 11 years lying. My father didn't die. The room exploded. Not with sound. With shock. The security chief actually stumbled backward. Jaewon looked at me as if I'd spoken another language. What? I laughed. A broken sound. Half sob. Half surrender. He disappeared. The truth felt ugly. Heavy. Poisonous. My family told the world he died. Jaewon stared. I kept talking before courage abandoned me. He built something before he vanished. A network. A private empire. A shadow organization operating across Africa and Asia. His expression became unreadable. And somehow that scared me more. Because when Park Jae-won stopped showing emotion, people died. My father called it. I closed my eyes. God help me. The crown. The name hit the room like a bomb. Every guard reacted instantly. Some reached for weapons. Others exchanged horrified looks. Jaewon's face went completely white. The first time I'd ever seen it. Then I understood. He knew the name. Of course he knew the name. The crown wasn't a rumor. It was a nightmare. A criminal network so secretive that even governments struggled to track it. The organization everyone feared. The organization nobody controlled. The organization responsible for wars. Coups. Disappearances. Now, apparently kidnappings. Slowly. Very slowly. Jaewon approached me. My heart shattered. Because I expected anger. Betrayal. Rage. I said. He looked heartbroken. That's why. His voice was barely audible. I blinked. What? His hand rose. Gently touching my cheek. Like he was afraid I'd break. That's why they wanted you. My vision blurred. Jaewon's thumb brushed away a tear. And then he said something that completely destroyed me. Something I wasn't prepared for. Something that changed everything. If the crown knows who you are. His voice cracked. Actually cracked. Then they're not coming to kidnap you, Adiz. Cold flooded my veins. Because suddenly I understood. The photograph. The threats. The obsession. The marriage. Everything. Jaewon's eyes filled with a fear deeper than death. They're coming. His voice dropped to a whisper. To crown you. For a moment I forgot how to breathe. The room tilted. The chandeliers above me blurred into streaks of light. Crown me. Not kidnap me. Not ransom me. Not kill me. Crown me. No. The word escaped before I could stop it. No. Jaewon's eyes closed briefly. As if he wished he were wrong. But he wasn't. I knew he wasn't. Because suddenly all the missing pieces fit together. The arranged marriage. The secrecy. The years of silence surrounding my father's disappearance. The fact that powerful people had always watched my family from a distance. The fact that nobody ever explained why. I had spent my entire life believing I was ordinary. A struggling designer. A daughter. A woman trying to survive. Now I was learning that somewhere in the shadows, people had spent years waiting for me to become something else. Something I never asked to be. Adiz. My knees weakened. Jaewon caught me immediately. Strong arms wrapping around my waist. Holding me together. Keeping me standing. The room disappeared. For 1 second it was just us. Just his heartbeat beneath my cheek. Just his warmth. Just his scent. Safe. I laughed bitterly. Imagine that. The safest place in my world was the arms of the most feared man in East Asia. I don't want it. My voice cracked. I don't want any throne. I know. The answer came instantly. No hesitation. No doubt. Because he believed me. God help me, he actually believed me. I looked up at him. His gaze softened. The same way it always did when he looked at me. Not the crime boss. Not the king. Just my husband. Pie Queen. Tears slipped down my cheeks. I hate when you call me that. A small smile appeared. The first one all night. You don't. The annoying man was right. A sharp ringtone shattered the moment. Every guard tensed. Jaewon's expression hardened instantly. He answered. The distorted voice returned. Chairman Park. Silence. Then, have you figured it out yet? Jaewon's arm tightened around me. What do you want? The caller laughed. Nothing. Why? A terrible lie. People like this always wanted something. We already have what we need. Cold flooded my veins. Jaewon's eyes narrowed. What does that mean? The man sounded delighted. As we speak. Pause. The leaders of the crown are gathering. My heart stopped. No. They've waited 11 years. Another pause. They finally found their heir. The call disconnected. Silence followed. Heavy. Terrible. Then every phone in the room buzzed simultaneously. Jaewon's. The guards. Everyone's. A notification. A single message. Broadcast globally. Jaewon looked first. And swore. The room froze. I grabbed the phone from his hand. My stomach dropped. The screen displayed a photograph. A photograph of me. Standing beside my father. Taken when I was 8 years old. A picture that should not exist. Beneath it was a headline. The lost daughter of the crown has been found. Then another line. One that changed my life forever. Long live Queen Adiz. The room exploded. Phones ringing. People shouting. Security scrambling. Governments would see this. Criminal organizations would see this. The entire underworld would see this. And every ambitious monster on earth would now know my name. I stared at the screen. Frozen. Terrified. Hopeless. Then Jaewon gently took the phone away. Adiz. I looked up. His eyes never left mine. Not once. The chaos around us didn't matter. Nothing mattered. Only this. Only us. They're coming. I nodded weakly. Yes. The truth was obvious. The crown would come. Their enemies would come. Governments would come. Assassins would come. Everyone would come. For me. For the throne. For power. For blood. Jaewon lifted my chin. His gaze became impossibly intense. Dangerous. Proactive. Devoted. The look of a man preparing to go to war with the entire world. And win. Then let them come. My heart skipped. The room fell silent again. Even the guards stopped moving. As everyone knew that tone. The tone that preceded destruction. Jaewon's forehead touched mine. The smallest gesture. The most intimate one. I don't care who wants the throne. His voice dropped. Soft enough for only me to hear. I don't care who your father was. My eyes burned. I don't care what kingdom they think belongs to you. One hand slipped into mine. Interlocking our fingers. A promise. A vow. A declaration. The next words shattered whatever remained of my defenses. Because before you're their queen. His lips brushed my forehead. You're my wife." The tears came instantly. And for the first time all night I wasn't afraid. Not because the danger disappeared. It hadn't. If anything, it had multiplied. A war was coming. A terrible one. But I wouldn't face it alone. Because beside me stood a man capable of terrifying nations. And somehow, he loved me. The ballroom doors burst open. Another security team rushed inside. Weapons drawn. Urgent. Panicked. "Chairman." J1 turned. "What now?" The guard's face was pale. Terrified. "Satellite surveillance just confirmed movement." The room went still. "Movement where?" The guard swallowed. Then pointed directly at me. "Toward Seoul." My blood ran cold. "How many?" The guard's answer changed everything. "Not one organization." Silence. Then, "All of them. Every major crime syndicate. Every faction. Every claimant. Every enemy. Coming for one thing. The Queen. And the war for my crown had officially begun. And that, my beautiful family, is where we end tonight's story. But before you go, we want to hear from you. Where are you watching Afro Asia Diaries from? Drop your country and city in the comments below. We absolutely love seeing our family from all around the world. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Afro Asia Diaries, turn on the notification bell so you never miss our next unforgettable Afro-Asian romance. Until next time, stay blessed, stay safe.